For me, he's one of the top players. He adds fluidity, technical ability to strike balls like the one he strikes today. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's a big piece of how they scored 14 goals in the last 3 or 4 games or whatever it may be.
What's up, football fanatics? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the biggest transfer rumors and tactical masterclasses in world football. Today, we're diving into what could be the most explosive transfer of the summer window. And trust me, this one will send shockwaves through the Premier League. Picture this: Rodrygo goes. Real Madrid's Brazilian sensation lining up in the sky blue of Manchester City. Sounds impossible? Well, buckle up, because we're about to explore why this transfer could not only happen, but why it would absolutely demolish the competition next season. But first, let's address the elephant in the room: Savinho's potential departure to Tottenham. Yeah, you heard that right. The young Brazilian winger who was supposed to be City's next big thing might be heading to North London. But here's the kicker: losing Savinho could be the best thing that ever happened to Pep Guardiola's squad. Why? Because it opens the door for something far more spectacular. So smash that like button if you're ready for some serious transfer talk, hit subscribe for more breaking football analysis, and let's dive into why Rodrygo to City isn't just a dream, it's a nightmare for every other Premier League club. The Savinho situation. Before we get to the main event, let's talk about Savinho's situation at the Etihad. When City signed the 20-year-old from Troyes last summer, expectations were sky high. Here's a player who absolutely tore up League One, registering 11 goals and 10 assists in his debut European season. The pace, the trickery, the eye for goal, everything screamed future superstar. But here's the brutal reality of elite football: potential doesn't always translate immediately. Savinho has shown flashes of brilliance at City, don't get me wrong. That solo run against Newcastle, the assist against Arsenal, moments that remind you why Pep was so eager to bring him in. But consistency, that's been the issue. Now, Tottenham comes calling. Ange Postecoglou is building something special in North London, and he sees Savinho as the perfect fit for his high-intensity attacking system. For Savinho, it's a chance for regular first-team football, something that's been hard to come by with City's embarrassment of riches in attack. From City's perspective, this could be perfect timing. They're looking at a player who needs game time to develop, and let's be honest, when you're competing on 4 fronts like City always are, you need players who can impact games right now. Selling Savinho to Tottenham for a decent fee, with maybe a buyback clause, makes perfect business sense. But here's where it gets interesting, because City aren't just letting Savinho go without having a plan. And that plan? It's absolutely diabolical for the rest of the league. Why Rodrygo makes perfect sense. Enter Rodrygo. And let me tell you why this signing would be a masterstroke that elevates City to an entirely new level. First, let's talk about what Rodrygo brings that Savinho, talented as he is, simply can't match right now: Champions League pedigree and clutch gene DNA. This is a player who has scored in multiple Champions League finals. Remember that incredible semi-final performance against Manchester City themselves in 2022? 2 goals in 2 minutes to send Real Madrid through? That's not luck. That's elite mentality. At just 24 years old, Rodrygo has already won 5 Champions League titles. 5. Most players never even reach one final, and this guy's got more European cups than some entire clubs. When Pep Guardiola talks about the fine margins at the highest level, he's talking about players like Rodrygo, players who rise to the occasion when everything's on the line. But it's not just about the mental side. Tactically, Rodrygo is perfect for Guardiola's system. The Brazilian operates primarily as a right winger, but watch him closely. He's constantly drifting into central areas, creating overloads in the half spaces that Pep absolutely loves. His movement is intelligent, his passing is crisp, and his finishing, clinical, doesn't even begin to cover it. Here's what makes this potential signing absolutely terrifying for opponents: Rodrygo's versatility. He can play right wing, left wing, as a false 9, or even as an attacking midfielder. In Pep's system, that kind of positional fluidity is gold. Imagine the nightmares this causes for opposition managers trying to prepare their defensive shape. And let's talk about the Real Madrid situation. Carlo Ancelotti's recent comments about squad rotation and the emergence of younger players have sparked speculation. With Kylian Mbappe's arrival pushing everyone down the pecking order, and Vinicius Jr. firmly established as the main man, Rodrygo might be looking for a move where he's the focal point of the attack. The tactical revolution. Now, this is where things get really spicy. Let's break down exactly how Rodrygo transforms Manchester City tactically. In Guardiola's inverted winger system, players like Riyad Mahrez and Bernardo Silva have thrived by cutting inside and creating numerical superiority in central areas. Rodrygo takes this to the next level because he's equally deadly on either foot. When he cuts inside from the right flank, that left foot is a wand. Just ask any goalkeeper who's faced him in the Champions League. But here's the genius part: Rodrygo's pressing game. Real Madrid might not press as intensely as City, but Rodrygo has shown he can adapt. His work rate is exceptional, and his understanding of when to press and when to hold position is already at an elite level. Give Pep 6 months to work with him, and you're looking at a pressing monster who can also score 25 goals a season. The passing combinations this guy can create with Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, and the emerging midfield talents, it's going to be poetry in motion. Rodrygo's first touch is sublime, his vision is underrated, and his ability to play those quick 1-2s in tight spaces will unlock defenses that have learned to cope with City's current attacking patterns. Let's talk about set pieces too, something people don't mention enough about Rodrygo. His delivery from dead ball situations is absolutely exceptional. City have sometimes struggled with set piece variety, but Rodrygo brings a different dimension: those whipped crosses, the ability to shoot from free kicks. It's another weapon in an already loaded arsenal. And here's something that will get City fans excited: Rodrygo's big game mentality. This isn't a player who shrinks under pressure. El Clásicos, Champions League finals, World Cup matches, he's performed on the biggest stages consistently. That's exactly what City need for those crucial moments in title races and European campaigns. The scary part for opponents? Rodrygo makes everyone around him better. His movement creates space for others. His passing opens up new attacking avenues, and his finishing threat means defenses can't just focus on stopping Erling Haaland. Imagine trying to mark Haaland, Foden, Bernardo Silva, and Rodrygo simultaneously. It's impossible. Breaking down the competition. Let's be brutally honest about what Rodrygo's arrival would mean for Manchester City's Premier League rivals. Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, they're all in serious trouble. Arsenal have built their recent success on defensive solidity and quick transitions. But Rodrygo's ability to create something from nothing completely disrupts that game plan. When you're sitting deep trying to frustrate City, having a player who can curl one into the top corner from 25 yards changes everything. Arsenal's title challenge just became infinitely harder. Liverpool under Arne Slot are still finding their identity, and their high defensive line has already shown vulnerabilities. Rodrygo's pace and movement in behind is exactly the kind of threat that could expose those weaknesses. Remember how he tortured Liverpool's defense in the Champions League? Now imagine him doing that 38 times a season in Sky Blue. Chelsea are spending astronomical amounts trying to build a competitive squad, but talent like Rodrygo simply can't be bought. It has to be developed over years at the highest level. While Chelsea are hoping their young players develop into world-class talents, City would be signing someone who's already proven at the very top. Manchester United? Let's not even go there. They're already struggling to keep pace with City's current squad. Adding Rodrygo to the mix would be like bringing a Formula One car to a go-kart race. But here's the really scary thought for these clubs. This isn't just about one player. Rodrygo's signing would signal City's intent to dominate not just the Premier League, but European football for the next decade. When you combine his talent with City's infrastructure, coaching, and financial backing, you're creating a monster that could win multiple trebles. The psychological impact alone would be devastating. Imagine being an Arsenal or Liverpool player fighting tooth and nail for the title, knowing that City have just added a proven Champions League winner to their already incredible squad. That kind of mental pressure has broken teams before. The financial and strategic masterclass. From a business perspective, this potential deal showcases exactly why Manchester City are the smartest operators in world football right now. Selling Savinho to Tottenham for around £40 to £50 million and immediately reinvesting in Rodrygo is genius-level squad management. You're upgrading from potential to proven quality while maintaining financial fair play compliance. It's the kind of move that separates elite clubs from everyone else. Rodrygo's commercial value is also massive. Brazilian players have incredible global appeal, and adding him to a squad that already includes Haaland, Foden, and Bernardo Silva creates marketing opportunities that practically pay for the transfer fee themselves. Shirt sales, sponsorship deals, global fan base expansion, City's commercial team must be salivating at the possibilities. But here's the strategic masterstroke that not everyone will see coming. This signing future-proofs City's squad. With the departure of some veteran players, City need to transition to the next generation. Rodrygo, at 24, represents the perfect bridge between the current squad and whatever comes next. The scouting network that identified Rodrygo years ago and the coaching staff that can maximize his potential, this is why City's long-term planning is light years ahead of their competition. While other clubs are reactive, signing players after they've already proven themselves elsewhere, City are thinking 5 steps ahead. And let's talk about squad depth. Injuries, suspensions, fixture congestion. These are the realities of modern football. Having Rodrygo as an option off the bench or rotating into the starting 11 means City can maintain their intensity across all competitions. No more choosing between the Premier League and Champions League. They can go full throttle for everything. The domino effect. But Rodrygo's arrival wouldn't just impact City. It would send shockwaves throughout European football that could reshape the entire transfer market. Real Madrid losing Rodrygo would force them into the market for a replacement, potentially disrupting other clubs' transfer plans. Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG, everyone suddenly competing for a smaller pool of elite wingers. Premier League clubs would be forced to overspend on inferior alternatives. When City signed the best player in a position, everyone else has to settle for second or third choice, often at inflated prices. It's economic warfare at the highest level. The psychological impact on young players worldwide cannot be underestimated either. When talent see someone like Rodrygo choose City over staying at Real Madrid, it sends a message about where the power in world football truly lies. City becomes the ultimate destination for ambitious players. Other Premier League clubs might be forced into desperate measures, panic buying, overpaying for players, disrupting their long-term planning. When City raises the bar this high, everyone else scrambles to keep up, often making mistakes that set them back years. So there you have it, football fanatics. Why Rodrygo to Manchester City wouldn't just be a signing, it would be a statement that reshapes English football for years to come. This isn't just about replacing Savinho, it's about City evolving from a great team to an unstoppable force. The combination of Rodrygo's talent, Guardiola's tactical genius, and City's relentless winning mentality creates something that opposition fans should genuinely fear. Will it happen? That's still to be determined. But if this transfer does go through, mark my words, the Premier League as we know it is about to change forever. City would have the depth, quality, and tactical flexibility to dominate on a level we've never seen before. What do you think? Is Rodrygo the missing piece that makes City unbeatable? Or can Arsenal, Liverpool, and the rest find a way to compete? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe for more transfer analysis that you won't find anywhere else. Until next time, keep watching, keep analyzing, and remember, in football, anything can happen. But smart money says City are about to make it a lot less competitive at the top.